Hi, everybody. My name is Rafa Lombardino, and this is Translation Confessional. Translation Management Systems. Today, I'll be doing something a bit different and reading someone else's content, because there's no need to reinvent the wheel and talk about a subject when someone else has already written an information-packed article about it. The topic I wanted to bring up for discussion is Translation Management Systems. I read an article by George Kashuras with Transifex and asked for his permission to record it for Translation Confessional. I adapted it a little bit to fit the audiovisual format, but if you want to access his original blog entry, check out this episode's description for the link. George's article is great to help both translators and translation clients understand what translation management systems are, how they work, how they can help clients who need multilingual translations, and how translators themselves can use them. So let's learn all about this kind of technology today. What is a translation management system? Also known as TMS, translation management systems can be extremely helpful when it comes to translating content into multiple languages. However, many content creators are still relying on spreadsheets to control the workflow of their translations, either because they're worried about switching to different technologies or because they're not aware of the more advanced solutions available to them. Well, how are translation management systems any different from project management platforms, you might ask? As the name implies, project management platforms are all about managing projects in general. But what happens when a client has a translation project to take care of? How can a client manage something as complex as that? That's where translation management systems come in. A translation management system is a platform that clients can use to translate and localize their materials easily, swiftly, and cost-effectively. When using a TMS, a translation project is managed at multiple levels. The base platform, where the project is set up. Team collaboration tools for onboarding and updates on project status. Editing assistance, which includes glossaries, guidelines, version tracking, etc. Automation features, which includes machine translation, translation memory, etc. And visual context, which is especially needed when working with subtitles or files that have visual components that provide more insight into the written material. While all of this can be overwhelming if clients are not used to requesting translation services, it's so much easier to comprehend once they can break down a multilingual translation project into different steps. So, in a nutshell, a TMS helps translation clients bring together their own team, language collaborators, a multilingual content into a single place. That's where they can easily manage everything and everyone in a much more efficient way compared to old-fashioned localization methods, such as spreadsheets and emails. Besides, they can also automate many tasks within a TMS. Let's take a step back and review what localization is. Localization is a branch of translation that takes a product in its original language, usually English, and then makes it more appropriate for a local community that speaks a target language. So it's not just about translating a sentence from one language to another. It's also about ensuring that the final translation makes sense and is appealing to the target audience. During a localization process, apart from translation, clients may also need to adapt other forms of media, such as images, videos, banners, legal documents, advertisement, animation, and more, depending on the kind of content they have. This is particularly prevalent in creative content, such as video games, when multiple changes and even censoring are often necessary depending on the region. Why are translation management systems necessary then? A TMS can make the life of localization managers, translators, and in many cases, even engineers, much easier. Without a TMS, most people use spreadsheets instead. And if you ever found yourself involved in a project controlled by spreadsheets, you already know that crawling through thousands of columns and cells is not exactly ideal. The kind of workflow demanded by spreadsheets introduces a lot of challenges that are difficult to tackle without specialized software. In other words, there will be challenges related to communicating with everyone involved, managing project files, and ensuring the quality of the final product. Not to mention the lack of automation, team management, translation quality and speed, and tools integrations. That's why a TMS can prove to be invaluable in preventing such issues. Besides all that, the return on investment when it comes to properly managing localization projects is more than enough to justify a switch from a scattered manual process to a more centralized and streamlined one. So if a client needs to localize a product, why not do it more efficiently and with modern software? And there are other benefits to implementing a TMS. Localizing content in different languages can help a client's brand rank in more regions, which means that companies that team up with translators are the ones getting more customers while making their brand known across the world. Last but not least, it's more important to remember that using a new tool is not just about getting extra features. It's also about solving issues and getting rid of problems. After the break, let's address some challenges that translation clients can effectively address when implementing a TMS into their project workflow. Before we continue, let me tell you a bit about Squarespace. I've been using it for both my corporate and my professional websites, and it's made a world of difference for my business. First of all, it saves me a lot of time because their web designing platform is so easy to use. I don't have to figure things out. I just add different elements to a page, check if it looks pretty, and publish it. I can move things around quickly and adjust my homepage as needed, so I can let you know about my upcoming classes, webinars, and speaking events. I've added different sections to the menu too as my content has started to grow, and everything is organized perfectly. Besides, Squarespace allows me to see what each page will look like in different formats, whether people are visiting my website on a computer, tablet, or smartphone. That way, I can make sure nothing looks clunky and everyone can get the information they need in a visually pleasant way. I can also check out some behind-the-scenes information to confirm that my outreach efforts are working. I can see where the traffic to my website is coming from, what keywords visitors used on Google searches to get to my content, and where in the world my audience is located, which is perfect when I want to explore some opportunities with translation clients in different markets. If you don't have a professional website yet, or if your current setup has let you down, I know for a fact that Squarespace is exactly what you need to recreate your business image and your brand so clients can find you. To give Squarespace a try and get 10% off your hosting plan, go to this webpage, bit.ly/T3-Squarespace. That way, they'll know that you've heard about them here at Translation Confessional. Once again, the webpage is bit.ly/T3-Squarespace. Hope you like it. Switching from a traditional localization process to a TMS can be a daunting thought, especially if translation clients are not too familiar with software tools and automation in general. Before taking a big step, it's important for clients to think about the reasons why they want to take that step. So here are 3 localization challenges that a TMS can help with. File management, team management and communication, turnaround time, efficiency, and quality assurance. Let's start with file management. First and foremost, when localizing a product, clients must keep track of their files. In most cases, they include coding that makes an app work, website content, documentation, marketing and advertising, and all other source files along with their respective translations in all applicable languages. Keeping track of everything, especially while in the midst of localizing a product, is no doubt a challenging task when clients follow old school localization methods. However, by using a TMS, they're basically bringing all of their files and content into a single place, which makes content and translation management so much easier. Moving on to team management and communication, this aspect can be just as difficult as managing files, if not more. Before translation management systems, professionals had no choice but to handle everything through several third-party communication platforms and links. Now, administrators, project managers, reviewers, language coordinators, translators, engineers, and pretty much anyone can come together into a single user interface where everyone can work and communicate and be on the same page. Without a TMS, the only way to fix a mistake is having a language coordinator say something like, "Please fix the typo in the French file X, line Y." So the translator has to go in, look for the file, locate the line, and correct the typo. On the other hand, with a TMS, a reviewer only has to mark a translation line as wrong. The translator gets notified and accesses the translation with a touch of a button, which saves a ton of time and effort in the long run. Additionally, comments and notes can be added under the content that needs to be translated. So no one has to go back and forth between those third-party communication platforms or search for a translation that needs to be fixed. Everything is integrated into the system's user interface. Considering that, the entire project is more streamlined, which improves turnaround time as each role completes their designated task. Everyone works more efficiently, and quality assurance steps can be taken to provide a top-notch final product to the end users of that localized content. So, have you ever used a translation management system? Which one? If you're listening to this episode on Spotify, you can answer this question in this episode's description. Otherwise, keep in touch to share your experiences with a TMS. Send me an email at rlombardino@wordawareness.com or leave a voice message on my Anchor page. If I get enough feedback and voice messages, I can go back to the subject and post a special podcast episode with everyone's opinion on this very same theme. By the way, my Anchor page is anchor.fm/translation-confessional. I look forward to hearing from you. Stay tuned for weekly episodes and subscribe to Translation Confessional through your favorite podcast app.